Okay, so today we're going to work on our Snake is Eating Florida quiz. So, coming down here, it says the snake is eating Florida. It's got our picture from the story. Number 1 says, which of the following is a reason that Burmese pythons become popular pets? They were cheap. They can grow to be more than 20 feet long. They are aggressive to humans, or adult pythons are cute. So if I don't remember, look, I've got my story works up here. I'm coming back to my story, okay? And I am looking. Now, if I remember correctly from reading this, it was in here that told me why they became popular. Right here, Burmese pythons became popular as pets in the early 1990s. They were cheap. Okay, so after it tells me that they became popular, it tells me they were cheap, meaning that that is one of the biggest reasons. So I'm going to choose they were cheap. Number 2 says the article says that Burmese pythons are not venomous. Another word for venomous is, if you're not sure, go back and look at your snake words vocabulary on Quizlet. So venomous is another word for poisonous. Number 3 says the sidebar on pages 17 and 18 show. So we don't have pages if you're online. So let's come back here and look. And the sidebar that they're talking about is this, okay? Here at the bottom where it says invaders. America is being taken over by invasive species. Here are some of the biggest pests, okay? And so it gives us different ones that are here, okay? So I'm going to come back and I'm going to see what this is. How scientists are fighting pests, how other invasive species are damaging the ecosystem, how to care for an exotic pet, or how other animals travel. So after looking at the sidebar, I know it's either one of these two, but the best answer tells me that they are invasive species and they are damaging where we are. Number 4 says author Kate Messner thinks that the work the snake scientists are doing is, and we have some things: exciting, expensive, too fast, useless. Okay, so this is in our second article down here called Tracking Pythons. Okay, and I want you to look at this, okay? It says Kate Messner joined a team of snake scientists and ended up on a wild adventure. So let's see what kind of wild adventure. Okay. I was lucky enough to join them on their research trip. So let's see what other kind of details she gives us. Look at this. They soared, they hiked, they waded in the lake. Okay. So that to me really tells me that it's probably pretty exciting for her. So now we have to find something that explains that this is exciting. So it's difficult to find female pythons. The scientists know their project won't fully get rid of Florida's pythons. Spending time with the researchers offered up an up-close look at snake science and a reminder of how adventurous research can be. I joined the scientists as they track signals from the snake's transmitters. So I think the best answer to this is definitely this one, because it's talking about how adventurous and exciting and adventurous are kind of the same. This one says both articles explain. So we had those two things. And both articles explain why pythons help the environment. We didn't read about them helping the environment. Why exotic pets are dangerous. That's a possibility. It does talk about that. But I know that the first one does. I'm not sure about the second one. How pythons arrived in the Everglades. I know the second one doesn't talk about that, just the first one. What's being done to fight the python crisis? Okay, so I think this is it. So I have two choices. I need to see if it talks about why exotic pets are dangerous in the second one, because I'm not sure about that. So I'm coming back and I am looking in my story. And as I'm doing this, I'm scrolling kind of fast, but I'm skimming to see any of those keywords, exotic pets. Okay. Um, because it needs to talk about more than just pythons. And it doesn't talk about exotic pets in the second one. So um, this is my best. Oh, no, not that one. That's what I was saying. This is my best answer. How we are fighting it. Okay. Now, two more. Almost done. Why might the Burmese python problem in the Everglades be called an ecological disaster? Okay, so what I'm going to do is, remember, you have to restate your question. Well, in this one, to restate my question, I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it right here. So I'm going to say the Burmese python problem in the Everglades can be called an ecological disaster because, and now I need to give my answer. Um, and what I'm thinking is because there are so many of the snakes living in the Everglades that don't belong there, and they are disrupting the food chain. Oh, it would be great if I could spell. Okay. Now, this last one says, what is being done to try to solve the problem of pythons in the Everglades? So I can say, to solve the problem of pythons in the Everglades, and I'm going to paste that right there. Okay. That's part of my restating the question. Here, I'm going to come back up here. And what can be done? So this is how they're solving it. So it says it's now against the law to bring the pythons to the US to sell. Okay. That's going to prevent pet snakes being abandoned. Okay. So they've made a law. And they also have a python challenge. So hunters come to find them and catch them. They're saying that they are at war. And so far, nobody can say who will win. So let's go back here. To solve the problem of pythons in the Everglades, the U.S. made a law where it was illegal to bring pythons into America. Okay, the scientists are tracking the snakes to trap them, and there is a hunting competition every year for pythons. Okay, make sure you click submit so that I get your answers.